Uh, I guess there's no clean segue to this. I was going to try and bring Newman Lake into overreactions. But we got some overreactions from the bye week.
We're
Are you
jumping to
ready for these?
conclusions. Jumping into the lake, jumping to conclusions, whatever it may be. But this overreaction corner is going to start off with a quote. Jack?
Boom. Oh, look at that segue. King of segues. Still lots of this is from Randy. This is a long one. We're getting the long one out of the way first. Still lots of room for improvement, which is very positive. The secondary is improving weekly. McLeod is getting more comfortable each week, but needs to run the ball more. Too many times we're handing the ball off up the middle for little or no gain when it appears he could easily keep it and beat the defense to the edge. Daniel, what are your thoughts on Randy's overreaction?
I think that Randy's overreaction has a lot of merit. And one of the things that while I was watching the Wisconsin versus Georgia Southern game, what Wisconsin was that who they played this year? Was it them
Yes.
and Nebraska? I mix
It's
up the two red
Wisconsin. I
teams.
I do too all the time. I had to triple check today to make sure I got it right. Yes, it was Wisconsin this year. They beat Nebraska last year.
Excellent. When they were playing against Wisconsin, the quarterback for them, Mordecai, had several really clean rushing plays. He ended up scoring 2 rushing touchdowns on the day of just pulling the ball and taking it right into the end zone after either a fake handoff, an option, a designed run. There was a couple of different segments of where he was really dicing that Georgia Southern front seven up. And I think that McLeod has the opportunity to do the same throughout the entire Sun Belt East. His legs have impressed me, especially this past game against South Alabama, ripped off 67 yards, was the team's highest average rusher. And that includes Kalon, that includes Tyson. So to see his legs get more utilized in this offense, I would be ecstatic. And yes,
Yeah.
we do have room for improvement for sure.
Next one from Will Byrnes. Burns. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. I'm not good with them. Jordan McLeod is a baller, and I don't understand the negative buzz. I trust him slinging the rock. He's elusive and one of the best, if not the best, quarterback in the Sun Belt. Will, I love Jordan McLeod. I'm going to say pump the brakes a little bit. I think McLeod has a lot of room for improvement. Uh, I think he's really good, and I think he has a ton of potential. He's still getting comfortable, and the third quarter is an issue he has to overcome. And that third quarter, I think, is so bad that it warrants some of that negative buzz.
I think the third quarter is really the downer on Jordan's quote unquote legacy, I guess, as you could put it so far through 5 games. He just has not come out sharp in the second half,
Yeah,
and that ability to just lay a duck, like an absolute goose egg in the third quarter it's terrifying for this team's
yeah,
offense when you're completely taken out of the game in the second 30 minutes and maybe you get some fourth quarter action here and there. Maybe your team has to put the ball in your hands to actually win the game now.
yeah.
It's not a good look. Signetti had a quote earlier within this season about seeing some scary things in that pass game. I believe it was in the post game in South Alabama. You don't
Yeah,
say there's scary things in the passing game with a quarterback that you 100% trust. It's
I,
just
I,
not going to be there.
I agree. Also, this is from, oh, I misspelled his last name. That is so awkward. Also, we're winning out and we'll be the first team in history to be undefeated and not be able to play in a bowl. According to Kelly Ford, that's only a 96% overreaction.
Honestly, I can see it. Now, Ben has a great take here, and while it is a bit of a homer homer take, I think if they can get to 7-0, they're more likely to go undefeated than they are to lose 2 games.
Yes.
Maybe that's a little bit of I don't think that's a hot take though. I mean,
I,
the last half of their schedule in comparison to the gauntlet they just went
yes.
through and the 2 games upcoming, 2 of the toughest teams in the Sun Belt East, it's definitely going to have some major implications if they can come out of this undefeated still. And I think 12-0, as cool as it may be, we're still probably not going to make it to the conference championship. If I'm being honest,
Well, according
it's
to
not
this,
looking great.
according to this overreaction, 12-0 is going to happen. But we just touched on that. This team could legitimately end up being 7-5 after starting 5-0. They have to get the secondary and the QB position figured out. When you have a minute 30 left in the first half and 2 timeouts, try to get the ball downfield and put more points on the board for Lord's sake. I will say, I think the secondary has started to kind of figure it out. I'm more worried about the second half play calling. South Alabama really made me not terrified of the defense.
I think that the take that this team could end up at 7-5 is at least for my opinion, blasphemous. This team has not given us any reason to doubt them yet, as crazy as that sounds. I know that there's been plenty of doubt because of the margin of victory, because of the way that we let some of these teams back in, the secondary. You can go on and on and on. They're 5-0
Yeah.
against the toughest schedule in JMU history so far. I mean, you took the two toughest teams in the Sun Belt West. You bring in as well a Power 5 in Virginia, who's still Power 5. Don't Doesn't matter if they're 1-5. Like, there's quality to their wins, and I think that the quarterback position is getting figured out currently. McLeod has been a top half Sun Belt quarterback. He's played well, and the secondary is getting better. Court Signetti spoke to it to me when I asked him, "With these young players, do you see improvement?" And he said, "Our pass defense is improving, and it has to continue to keep improving." He understands that. This team understands that, and I don't see why there's going to be any reason why it won't improve the way that they expect it to, at least marginally.